Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up this screen. Okay, Uncle Lou. Now, I've just found out about Uncle Lou a few months ago, and I've noticed a big difference in him over the last several days, and he has started trolling the Vols like nobody's business, and we're going to get into that. And I'm wondering if George isn't real worried about us, because this is really a sea change for him. And, you know, he kind of represents Georgia on YouTube. There's other YouTubers that do the same thing, but this guy's all about Georgia. I've really just started covering the Vols on YouTube a few months ago. As you know, my channel just started a few months ago. But I've been trying to watch other YouTubers and kind of seeing what's going on in the SEC. And I noticed that Uncle Lou, you know, he's been doing this a long time, is my understanding, like 7 or 8 years, and he's got thousands of videos. And I'd watched him before, and he always was kind of just like messing with the Vols, you know, giving them some grief, but it was never anything significant or serious because, you know, he didn't really see us as a threat, which is understandable. You know, we've been on that middle tier, you know, 7-win type program that, you know, is not really a threat to Georgia. Well, I've noticed over the last few days, his tone has changed dramatically, and he's gotten way more aggressive about trolling the Vols, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
You want this ball toy? Come get it. Heavy is the head, tarred man. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
This is why I love Tennessee fans every single week. Whether they win or they lose, whether they play a good team or a bad team, the Tennessee fans give you a reason to love them. What's the first thing you did, Tennessee man? What's the first thing you did, tarred man, when that game ended? Admit it. You ran to the Uncle Lou comment section. We're going to be number one, Lou. Nobody cares that you beat Pitt, Florida. By the way, 2 teams you barely beat. 2 horrible teams that you barely beat. Nobody cares. LSU, horrible team. So which is it? Maybe I'm sure we'll talk more about the Tennessee fans later, won't we? In this video? I'm pretty sure we will.
Yep. And I think his name for the volunteers is Voltard, which is, and I think he's got a General Voltard that he's brought out of retirement that he likes to make quite a bit of sport of. He's really getting charged up about this game coming up in 3 weeks. And by the way, I hadn't forgot about Kentucky. I see you, Kentucky. Fortunately, we're playing it here, and I believe it's at 7 o'clock, so that's great. So that could have been a trap game had it been in Lexington, but since it's here in Knoxville, I'm less concerned about it. But hey, Kentucky's still a good team. They could sneak up and beat you. So I hadn't forgot about you, Kentucky. But I just thought this was really interesting with Uncle Lou, and he's now freaking out about the Vols. He's worried. It's obvious. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing video after video after video about the Vols. And here's another video he just did.
Well, it's time for everybody's favorite segment here on LouTube. It's the weekly How Can Tennessee Embarrass Themselves Today segment here on LouTube. And boy, they have not disappointed this time. Now, Tennessee just had their biggest win in what? 24 years? Beating a 3rd-ranked, currently 6th-ranked Alabama team.
You noticed how he devalued Alabama all of a sudden? They went from 3 to 6. You know why they went from 3 to 6? Because we just whooped them. That's why they moved down. They weren't 6 when we played them, by the way. And that's the one team that scares him big time is Alabama. And now he's acting like Tennessee's Alabama. I mean, he's definitely worried. Now he's coming up with this crap about the goalpost because Tennessee's trying to raise some money. They're not trying to raise money for goalposts. They're just trying to raise money, period, because they're going to have to pay Josh Heupel a bunch of money. And they're fine financially. They've raised a bunch of money to work on the stadium that's selling out like crazy. Donors are throwing money in there, and they're getting great TV money. So, look, it's just somebody said, hey, this is an opportunity to raise some money. We'll put it towards Heupel or whoever and the other coaches, which is fine. Who cares? But obviously, he cares. It's got him all tore up.
And they can't afford goalposts. This is a damn shame.
Oh, yeah. He's real worried about the goalpost. This is nothing but trolling. That's all it is. And, you know, he keeps doing these videos on the Vols, which tells me we're living rent-free in his head. There's no doubt. He's worried because normally Alabama's his big concern and worry because they've whooped up on him so many times. And then last year, look, they did win. You know, they caught him and won the national title. I'll give them that. And they were fortunate that they had those 2 injuries to those wide receivers at Alabama. Otherwise, I don't think they'd have won that game. But, hey, injuries happen, and they won. So you can't take that away. But he's as worried about us, maybe even more so than Alabama, because he just saw our offense shred Alabama's #1 ranked defense, and he knows that defense is real because his team's played against it so many times. And to see 52 get put on him, he's sitting there going, man, that could happen to us. They're lucky it's at Georgia and not at Neyland Stadium because I think he'd really be freaking out. But game day will be there. And Uncle Lou, I want you to know, we're going to bring game day with us down there. So you're going to get a game day. Don't worry, an ESPN game day. And we'll bring it on down with us because now they're part of the Vols because this, I think, will be the 3rd time. I think once you enter the 3-time club in 1 year, I think it just becomes part of your program. So we're going to help you out. We're going to bring game day down there and get you some attention to the Bulldogs because you obviously need some attention down there. And we're going to help you out a little bit with that. Now, I've had a bunch of questions about this gentleman right here that I featured yesterday on the Alabama fans' reactions, and I'm going to give you his name because so many people have asked about him. And how you find him is Millis, Millis, Vanillis, Vanillis. And I'm not making that up. Millis Vanillis. I don't know. Maybe that's like Milli Vanilli or maybe it's like Vanilla Ice. I don't really know. But a lot of people were asking about him, wanting to watch his video. Now, I want you to understand this right here is some entertainment because he has put in layers of entertainment in this video that I'm not sure everybody really gets. Because here's the thing about YouTube. As I said yesterday, you're going to see some real original stuff on YouTube, and it's very entertaining. You know, this guy reminds me of, you know, the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where the guys are running around with the coconuts and they're acting like they're on a horse.
Brave Sir Robin ran away. No! Bravely ran away, away. I didn't!
Yep. Well, that's this type of comedy because look what he's done. And I actually respect this because it's a triple layered effect. Look what the guy did. First of all, the helmet hat is great. I mean, that's just funny right off the bat. Then he takes his sunglasses and takes some masking tape and some black magic marker, writes Roll Tide on it. I love that. And I think that might be a tribute to Uncle Lou, possibly, because, you know, Uncle Lou's always got something on his glasses. But the best part, and this is the thing that ties it all together, which I really like, and that's the war paint, which is right here where he does his version of Braveheart.
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
When you combine those 3 things together, and actually his program's pretty good. He knows what he's talking about. Now, it's got some colorful language in it. I'll go ahead and warn you. So if that bothers you, you don't want to watch it. But if it doesn't, he's actually pretty funny and pretty entertaining. And he knows his Alabama Crimson Tide. I'll promise you that. And he was kind of spot on several things. He did complain about the refs, of course, because they all do that. But it wasn't too awful bad. But I did want to let you know how to watch his video. Now, hopefully, both Georgia and Tennessee will be undefeated when they meet in a few weeks. That'll be great. I really think that would be outstanding, especially with game day. Game day's got to be there. How would they not? It's going to be basically 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3, which is fine. But I can tell you Tennessee's going to show up, and it's going to be a lot like this.
You called down the thunder, well, now you got it. You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
That's right. We're coming. We're coming down there, and we're bringing it with us. And I think Uncle Lou's kind of like this.
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry. Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Yeah. I think he wasn't expecting us to be his huckleberry. So this is going to be pretty interesting in a few weeks. But like I said, we got plenty of games before then. We've got Tennessee Martin, and then we've got Kentucky. So we'll be covering that. But I just noticed that big difference with Uncle Lou. And I thought that was interesting, something I'd bring to you and talk about a little bit, because he sure is going after Tennessee hardcore and just trolling us as hard as he can. That tells me he's worried and he's scared. He may be a lot like this Scarecrow.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
Yep. And Tennessee's the fire. He's definitely worried. All right, folks, and that's just a quick update. Wanted to go over a fellow YouTuber that seems to be giving us a lot of grief, a lot of attention. Thought it might be interesting. That tells me Georgia's worried, because he covers Georgia 24/7. I mean, that's his big thing. And for him to be spending all this time on Tennessee, look, you're not going to do that unless you're worried. If we're Vanderbilt or, some other team, he's not going to be even mentioning us. But, man, he's spending a bunch of time on Tennessee. A little too much, I think. So we'll see how it works out here in a few weeks. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd certainly appreciate it. I've been doing this about 3 months. I could use some subscribers. Anyway, I hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.